Hi, and welcome to the 64 Doors. Today we're going to open door 14. Here we find an archetype that is a real powerhouse. He's capable, empowered, and magnetic. We're going to explore this archetype from a human design perspective and a Jinky perspective. So right now we have the Sun in Scorpio in gate 14. We have the Earth in Taurus in gate 8, and the design part of the cross is the 29 in Leo and the 30 in Aquarius. So if you're born in these 6 days where the Sun is in gate 14, you're going to have one of 3 crosses. The cross of contagion, the cross of empowering, and the cross of uncertainty. See that all 3 have the 14 and the 8 as the conscious side. And then conscious side is going to shift because the cross is not a 90-degree cross, but 88-degree cross. So it's a little bit different in the energy of saying yes and the kind of fire start of the 30. And here it's about freedom and intimacy and really the flavor of the 59 and the 55. So you can read the meanings here, or you can learn about each gate on their own. This is 70% of who we are. This is the neutrino stream that comes through us in the moment we're born. So it's a very important imprint. If we go back to the body graph, we see this in the standard view, we see 14 in the sacral, and it's pointing up towards the G in gate 2. So we have already been in gate 2. That's what we're calling the archetype of the feminine or the wayshower. In the circuitry book, this is the channel of the beat, a design of being keeper of the keys. Because you have the ability and power to always follow your direction in life, you are a wayshower for others, whether directly or indirectly. So that's the whole channel. So the direction from the G is the second gate, and then the power from the sacral is the 14, and they kind of need each other, you could say. Just looking at the 14, so people's creative potential lies in loving the work they do. And here I would say we are in the Sacral Center. The Sacral Center has to do with generators and manifesting generators. When you have sacral energy, when you're defined there, it's so important for you to love what you do. Knowing that 70% of the population are either generators or manifesting generators, so important for your competence to be not only recognized, but also valued and kind of paid for in the world. You need to be doing what you love. That's so important for the energy. If you drain yourself by doing something you don't even like every day, that is not your best contribution to the world. And you can of course go to the 64 door and read more about the keywords. I want to go actually right into the gene keys and look at it from the gene key perspective. So here we are seeing the frequency band. You can live out this 14 in a low frequency, kind of what we were saying, if you're not doing what you love, if you're compromising, or a higher frequency where your competence is becoming what you are sharing with the world. You also see the part of the cross we're looking at, the 14 and the 8. So that's a programming partner. Compromise and mediocrity go together, competence and style, and exquisiteness and bounteousness. So here, both of these gates are individual circuitry, and it's about individual, unique differentiation. We actually see that, I think so, probably we have the 5-2 and the 6-2 and the 6-3 that are in Sagittarius already. And here we have mutable fire as element. And that really goes together with this being the codon ring of fire with only 2 jinkies, the 1 and the 14. The 1 was in transit not long ago. Here we see that we have fire over heaven, and the 1 is heaven over heaven. So very kind of the masculine. If we think about the 2 and the 8, which is the codon ring of water, that has to do with this codon ring that are very feminine. And we can, it's kind of a little bit long, but let's look at it anyway. I remember I read it a couple of weeks ago. So when the inner divine fire is released through your DNA, you become capable of miraculous power. The codon ring of fire unites the 2 cities of beauty and boundlessness. As such, it represents the energetic gem at the heart of creation and the purpose of existence itself. To create that which is endlessly beautiful and to imbue it with the awareness that it is endlessly beautiful. Genius is intimately connected to this idea of freshness and newness. When your fire is burning, everyone wants to gather around you and partake in your warmth and inspiration. But when your fire dies to a mere flicker, it is as though you become unnoticeable. If you then try to rekindle your creativity through the force of your will, you will only end up making huge compromises, both with yourself and with others. For the Ring of Fire, life is either fully engaged or fully at rest. So this is something to think about for generators when we're looking at it today. When we're looking at it in the sense of the first gene key, it's more about kind of understanding how creativity works. But here I would say it's really about generators, either the motor is on or it's off, and to have both, because we need that. That's what the first gene key tells us about. We can't not just fire all the time. Okay, so cornering, we're saying fire over heaven in the I Ching. So possession of great measure, the rapturous flame is fueled by the light of creation. And here you have the braid, basically, with the third is gene key, which is fire over fire, and the first gene key, which is heaven over heaven. And this is passionate creation. And astrology, what we were already saying, it's a mix of Scorpio and Sagittarius, fixed water and mutable fire. It's about shamanism, alchemism, philosophy, exploration, authenticity, alchemy, exploration, faith. So it's a lot in here, a lot in here. Integral human design, we're looking at the circuitry again. In integral human design, we call the 214 the channel of empowerment. And we have the frequency band for the whole channel. So when we are combining dislocation and compromise in the low frequency, we have disorientation. When we are combining orientation and competence, we have empowerment. And in the highest frequency with the unity and the boundlessness, we have materialization. We are in the stream of creativity, which is the individual circuitry, in the Sacral Center, where the frequency band is reaction, response, and flow. And that's good for all generators to remember and see, what are you in? Are you in reaction, response, or flow? I also wanted to show you what the 14th gate says when it comes to the Wheel of Deconditioning, or the 7 Years on the Wheel book that Richard wrote. So here we have a journey, like from the day we start deconditioning, we start our experiment with human design. It's said to take 7 years, the time that all our cells in the body are going to change. So you can stay 40 days in each gate, from gate 3 all the way around to gate 42. That's the way that this process is explained. I think it's also beautiful to do it in a year. So you start at gate 3 and then you go through them and you feel like, okay, I'm letting go of all the, of everything, anything that's a blockage here for me, and you go through them. So that would mean that right now we are in the 14. So what is that about? It's the Pentecost and the cleansing of the Penta. The 14th gate in human design has to do with a fascinating concept known as the Penta. The Penta refers to the transauric biogenetic field. Pentas are created when 3 or more people are together in a room. The classic penta unit is made up of 5 people, as the name suggests, which is representative of the modern nuclear family. It is rare, even in the Orient, to have more than 3 pentas in a single family. As the alchemical sun moves into the 14th gate, it activates a quickening within the penta. This means that we are suddenly confronted with family issues, work issues, and people issues. This mini sequence in the wheel begins with the 14th and ends with the 5th gate, and it symbolizes the purification of our relationships. You can only read a penta through the human design matrix by looking at the 12 gates between the sacral center and the throat, passing through the G. The 14th is rather like the format energy for all penta, and it is a gate that is intimately linked with wealth. The lesson of this phase is about doing the work that you love doing with people who allow you to excel rather than prevent you from being your highest self. The Christian term Pentecost refers to the purification by fire that Christ's disciples underwent. It is funny how the language shows us hidden meanings. If your relationships, family, and work do not allow you to be yourself, you and your family or business always pays the cost. So this is pretty cool. And I also want to kind of just tell you, we are going to do this wheel next year in Unlock Your Design with Ashley, with Simone, and maybe with Tim as well. We're going to go through the wheel, and we're going to just follow the sun through the wheel starting on gate 3. So that's going to be an adventure, and we're going to use some of this material to just really understand that the conditioning process. This is a great week to see where you compromise, and this can be in a relationship, it can be in work. When it comes to work, you actually want to love what you're doing. So I would say if you list all the activities that you do in what you consider work for 3 days, for example, and then you rate from 1 to 10. 1 is I don't love this, and 10 is like I really super love this. And you make the assessment, and if you have a lot of numbers that are under 4, you probably want to ask yourself if you are doing the right work or if you're using the time right with what you consider work. The 4 is here to really love what they are doing, and when that is there, you are the keeper of the keys. You're the energy that can be used in that right direction, where your competence is completely plugged in the right place. It's also a week to look into money. We have this archetype that really can create wealth, that can create prosperity, that just naturally tunes into that. So how natural is that for you? How effortless is that? Or how much are you struggling? And does it have to do with you maybe not valuing yourself enough, or you compromising? So compromises is also something you want to look at in other areas of your life, like in your relationships or in any kind of things. Where are the compromises? And it's also a way to tune into this kind of trust in the universe, or like a higher trust, because when it comes to the 2 and the 14, it's a lot about synchronicities. It's a lot about being in tuned with the G center that says, like, I know who I am, I know what love is, I know where I'm going. That's the 2. And then the Sacral Center is like pure energy, and it wants to be used in a way that is both fun and valuable. So feeling into those 2 energies together, and know that that's what we're doing. We're taking pure energy, we're bringing it up to the G, and we're expressing it, in a unique way in the world with who we are and what we're here for. So wishing you all a beautiful week, and I will be back next week. Thank you.